Hi, my name's Rachel, and I would love to give you some tips about how to be aware of aspects of social media that can lead to poor body image issues and lower self-esteem. Because you're all beautiful, and you don't need social media to trick you into thinking that you're not. To start off this conversation, I'd love to give you a question to think about. Have you ever felt differently about yourself after viewing another person's social media account? Well, there's something in psychology called the social comparison theory, and that means that humans have an innate drive to evaluate ourselves in comparison to others. This theory is saying that biologically, we compare ourselves to our peers to get a sense of ourselves, whether it's our looks, our popularity, our likability, or our status. There are two ways to socially compare. There's upward social comparison and downward social comparison. So when we upwardly socially compare ourselves, this is when we compare how we view ourselves in relation to someone we perceive as more popular or more beautiful. And this is important to know because comparing yourself to someone you believe is somehow better than you can make you feel worse about yourself because you don't think you're as popular or as pretty. A better mindset for upward social comparison is viewing that other person as inspirational to you rather than having some unachievable quality. The other end of social comparison is downward social comparison. And this has the opposite effect, and it makes ourselves and our self-esteem feel better because we are comparing ourselves to someone we perceive as not as popular or as likable. Whether you realize it or not right now, we do this all the time on social media because we have this biological want to judge others based on how likable and popular we believe ourselves to be. Now that you understand a little bit about how social media can affect our self-esteem, let me show you why comparing yourself to the people you see on Instagram can be damaging to your body image and self-esteem. I can't stress that enough that Instagram is not real life, and often people put out a better image of themselves than what's actually accurate in real life because of editing and posing. I know this is true because I've fallen into this trap on my own social media. On my Instagram, I'll post one picture, but what my followers don't see are the 20 other pictures taken within 2 minutes, all with slightly different poses, one with my hair fixed differently, and smiling differently. I'm telling you this because I want to make sure to choose the one perfect picture that looks best out of all of them, all the many pictures that I've actually taken in, because in that one I must have sucked in and posed perfectly. But that's not real life, and my followers looking at my Instagram page don't see what I actually look like most of the time, probably chilling in sweatpants with no makeup on. I believe this is how a lot of other people treat their Instagram accounts because there's a permanence and quantifiability to Instagram posts. Now let me back up for a second. I'm referring to permanence and quantifiability because these are the way that social media is different from real life. Permanence in this context means that once you post something online, it's there forever, and it's easily accessible as long as you leave it up. This means that people can look at your post for however long they choose, and they can revisit that post also. In real life, you can see someone walk by and notice their cool outfit or pretty hair, but then you forget about it and move on to something else. But social media gives you the opportunity to dwell on that look and revisit a person's picture because of this aspect of permanence. Quantifiability also seems like a big term, but I bring this up because Instagram pictures receive likes from other viewers, and this number of likes serves as a measurable way to see if other people approve of the picture you just posted. From my own experience with posting pictures, I'll get stressed about the amount of likes when I first post a picture because I want my picture to get, say, at least 300 likes in order to feel accepted by my followers. Because, let's face it, having people like your content is rewarding. Studies have shown that the ventral striatum, and that's a reward center in your brain, that's activated when people receive a social comparison reward or more likes on our pictures. That's why we're happy when our picture receives more likes than usual. Both of these qualities, permanence and quantifiability, make people want to put out the best picture possible of themselves, regardless of if it really reflects what's going on in their life at that moment. It's easy for someone to post a picture of them smiling to give off the impression that everything's okay and that they're happy, but that's not necessarily what the person's reality looks like. Therefore, you should be aware that social media is usually someone's best moment and best picture. This matters because if you're upward socially comparing yourself to someone on Instagram, You're comparing the real-life version of yourself to someone who could be posed and edited. So just know that that isn't a fair playing field before you start negatively thinking about yourself after comparing it to a picture. Another problem with social media is that it can greatly influence our beauty standards. Our society today stresses that girls should be skinny but not too skinny, have larger breasts and butts but also a tiny waist, when this body is just unrealistic for many adolescents who are still developing especially. Social media reinforces this by having algorithms that promote pictures of influencers with this body type who also receive a lot of likes. This teaches adolescents that that has to be the standard of beauty. Other times, social media influences beauty standards are through comments on posts. And since social media is asynchronous, meaning that you can write a comment that will be seen by people at a later time than when you actually wrote the comment, it's much easier for people to hide behind the screen of a phone than say it to the person's face. Some comments like, "eat a hamburger," written on the picture of someone skinny, is skinny shaming. And writing something like, "wow, the confidence," on someone who is a little bigger is still a backhanded compliment. And comments like these teach adolescents that our society prefers women to be somewhere in between. I personally believe that societal standards of beauty are unrealistic and that body positivity is beautiful. So if you're planning to comment on someone's post that they choose to display, write something uplifting and make them feel like others approve of their post. To sum up this video, I really hope that you're mindful about how you feel when you go online, because there are many factors that can influence your self-esteem and how you feel about yourself. And it's important to know that social media is not an accurate representation of real life, especially when you're comparing yourself to those you see online. Thanks.